Have you ever had a moment where your perspective of the world literally becomes wider? A moment where stepping out of your comfort zone changes how you see everything? I remember the exact moment I decided to book this trip. I was sitting at my desk, feeling uninspired, and then my boyfriend asked, "Do you want to go on a trip to Japan? There's a great deal right now."
It had always been on my bucket list to do a solo trip. I always wanted to travel to Japan, but the flight deal was for a departure from LA in less than 3 weeks. Then I asked myself, would I regret it if this ticket deal was no longer available? My answer was yes.
Number 1. It might not be a big deal once you try it. Traveling can put you in vulnerable situations where you might feel uncomfortable, especially if you're alone in a foreign country. Just being in a place thousands of miles away from home where you don't speak the language can be intimidating. For instance, during my trip to a city near Tokyo called Hakone, famous for its onsen, I was initially excited. However, when I entered the ryokan, the silence was almost eerie. I didn't see a single soul, and the front desk didn't speak much English.
I went to the front desk twice to ask about their customs on what to bring, what to wear, etc. Still feeling uneasy, I went back to my room and decided to do more research. But then I reminded myself, I'm in Japan, and this opportunity to experience onsen in Japan might not come soon. So I gathered my courage and went to the changing room, still feeling nervous. The wooden floors creaked under my feet, and the faint smell of sulfur filled the air. I pushed through the discomfort, and it turned out to be no big deal. I even laughed at myself after for being so scared. In the end, the hot water felt amazing. My skin was silky smooth, and I had the best night's sleep.
This taught me that many of the fears and anxieties we have are often bigger in our minds than in reality. Whether it's starting a new job, moving to a new city, or trying a new hobby, the first step is always the hardest. But once you push through, you often find it's not as daunting as you imagine. Number 2, you won't truly know what you like or dislike until you try it. I came to realize that traveling alone helps develop self-awareness because you're responsible for every plan and decision. In a foreign environment, you can genuinely discover what resonates with you, not influenced by anyone else but yourself. In my case, my first few days were all about visiting famous Tokyo landmarks. It was my first time in Japan, so I felt like I needed to see them. But soon, I realized instead of being in tourist spots, I enjoyed wandering around quiet areas, sitting down at a local cafe to watch the scenery, and spending time with new friends I made along the way. Similarly in life, we often follow the crowd or do what we think we should do without really considering our own preferences. Trying new things helps us discover our true interests and passions, leading to a more fulfilling life. As my journey continued, I realized another truth. Number 3, it's okay to get lost. On my way back from Hakone, I got off at the wrong bus stop and I discovered a peaceful cafe on top of a mountain. It was nearing the end of my trip, so it became a perfect spot to reflect on my journey. I ordered an iced Americano and spent time journaling, reflecting, and soaking in the moment. The serenity of that moment reminded me how sometimes unplanned detours can lead to the most beautiful experiences. Similarly in our lives, sometimes we hold on to things because they're important to us, but sometimes not everything is. We often fear making mistakes or taking wrong turns.
Oh my lord.
But I want to say, it's okay to get lost. At times, those unexpected paths lead us to wonderful experiences and opportunities we never could have planned for. I learned embracing uncertainty can open doors to new possibilities. Number 4, traveling can make you see that your problems might not be as significant as they seem. Being in a different environment, seeing people live different lifestyles and cultures can give you a fresh perspective. The world is so big, and our problems suddenly seem small when we step outside our bubble. It's true that the problems you left behind wouldn't just disappear, but traveling can give you power, insight, and a fresh perspective on how to approach your problems back at home. Or you could reflect on your own life pace and if there are unnecessary stresses you're putting on yourself. Seeing how others live and handle their challenges can put our own problems into perspective. It reminds us that we're not alone in our struggles, and that there are many ways to navigate life's difficulties. Lastly, number 5, traveling alone brought to light the importance of those closest to me. Throughout my trip, I frequently thought of people closest to me. Whenever I experienced something wonderful, I wished they were there with me. For example, every time I had good food, I thought of my boyfriend. Every time I saw something cute, I thought of my friends. When I went to a nice place, I thought of my parents and how they would love to spend time here. These moments made me appreciate their importance in my life. While it's important to spend time alone and grow independently, our relationships with our loved ones provide support, joy, and a sense of belonging. This trip reinforced the value of those connections and how they enrich our lives. Solo traveling in Japan has been an incredible journey. It taught me to embrace discomfort, try new things, cherish unexpected moments, gaze at my problems from a distance, and appreciate the people who matter most. If you ever thought of solo travel, go for it. You might discover a wider perspective on life. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe for more insightful content. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more of my solo Tokyo journey, check out the videos linked here.